guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's episode of The Fishing Teacher, and appreciate you guys swinging by the channel to check out today's video. Always really happy to have you guys around here. Guys, today I'm going to show you a simple swim bait modification that I really like to use, especially anytime between like November and March. I do this on every one of my swim baits, anytime that I'm fishing like these little small, 2 and 3 inch models here. Definitely gets you more bites. It's easy to do. It's super fast, super quick. So I'm going to share that with you guys in today's episode here. Also, guys, before we get started, speaking of wintertime little swim bait fishing, I'd like to invite everybody to check out my Fish the Moment lake map breakdowns. You guys have probably haven't heard me talking about them. We have all of our winter maps up on the site right now, and these are maps that I built specifically custom for fishthemoment.com. Great resources, guys, to get some good fishing places on your favorite lake. I've got lakes of all the lakes across the country in it, tips and advice, GPS waypoints you can go to, just an overview of the lake. So I'll have the Fish the Moment lake map breakdown link in the description of this video. And also, guys, a quick reminder, SolarBat extended their Black Friday sale on my Signature Series glasses, my RB2s and RB3s. These are my RB2s. Half price, guys. You can get them at 50% off right now, including free shipping and handling if you use my promo code RandyB, capital R, capital B. So I'll have the glasses and my SolarBat link in the description of this video if you guys would like to get a pair. If you're just going to get one pair, guys, try that. This is a high contrast yellow lens. This is the one I wear most of the time. It's just my favorite lens. Optical clarity on these lenses, second to none. So SolarBat link in the description. Really appreciate that. Okay, you guys that have been with me for a long time, you know that I love to tinker and modify with baits, and this is one of the key modifications I'm going to show you guys that I do right here with a little swim bait. This is like the little Keitech 2.4 inch. In the wintertime, this is the size I use. I don't hardly ever go to a swim bait over 3 inches long in the wintertime. In fact, I never do. If I'm throwing an Alabama rig, I'm throwing a little bitty 2.5 inch swim bait. If I'm throwing it on a jig head or a hover rig head, like we're gonna show today, little swim bait, you get a lot more bites anytime the water temperature is cold. 40s, low 50s, something like that. Definitely get a lot more bites with a little swim bait, as long as that water visibility is over about 2 or 2.5 foot of clarity. Okay, so let's show you a little bit how that I do this. First of all, guys, is the head. I use this Megabass okashira head, and I usually paint the head red. Now, you can catch them on the shad pattern heads too, but there's something about, I just like a red head on my little swim bait. It seems like the little red head, just take some fingernail polish, like what I did to this Megabass okashira, paint it red, and it seems like it's sort of like a little strike attractor. And also, guys, I will link the Megabass okashira head, nano-coated, super sharp hook. I'll put it in my Tackle Warehouse link along with my favorite swim baits if you guys would like to get set up. But I'm going to rig the head on here first, and then I'm going to show you the modification. Now, another thing, we talked about this before. When you rig a little bitty swim bait on a small hook like this, you don't want to come through the middle of the swim bait. You want to try to stay close to the top of it here, sort of like what I'm showing you here. Because if you stay close to the top, you have a lot more bite gap on the hook. Now, see what I've done here. You can probably see. You may not be able to see there, but the shank of the hook is right underneath the plastic there. If you run the hook through the middle of the plastic, you're losing about 1/8 of an inch of bite gap. So try to keep that shank of the hook right near the top, and you can see how much more bite gap I got there. That'll really add up to a lot more fish. So that's the setup. Okay, now the important modification, simple. You need a chartreuse spike it marker here. I'll link this in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description. Also on these swim baits, guys, most all of them, you got a color separation. Most of them have a different colored back like that, and there's like a little seam. You want to take the chartreuse marker and you want to draw right along that seam. Take the chartreuse, just go right along it. And it's going to add a little color to the bait that normally wouldn't be there. And I do this is not anything I do like for, because the water's stained. I do this even in gin clear water. It's very subtle and it makes a difference. So see just a little bit of chartreuse, see how it adds a little bit of color to it right there? And then this is the important thing. On the tail here, you don't want to color the whole tail chartreuse. You just want to put just a little tiny puff of chartreuse just like that on the tail, just a little bit on there. Seems like if you put too much chartreuse on there, they get off it. So I just want just a little dot of chartreuse. And guys, this is how I fish my little swim baits. That's my little swim bait modification there that I use all the time. I mean, just the red head and the coloration, the little puff on the tail here, that will get you more bites for sure. It's like you can throw a regular swim bait and you're gonna catch some, but I promise you guys, if you just try this little modification that I did here, you're gonna have a noticeable increase in the number of bites that you get. And also the aggressiveness of the fish, you know, when they hit it. Okay, a couple other things with that, just sort of some broad tips on this wintertime swim bait fishing. Another big key when you're fishing a swim bait under 3 inches long is you have to use light line. It's like a lot of people will go to 8 to 10 pound fluorocarbon. I use 4 to 6 pound tests most of the time. If I'm fishing like super clear water, especially if I downsize my head to like 1/16 of an ounce, which I do sometimes, I'll go to 4 pound test. Most of the time I'm using 6 pound test, Seaguar and Vizex. The bait fish is really good with 6 pound. You got a good feel on it. You know, it's undetectable to the fish. And another thing with that is like when you're reeling a little swim bait like that, you really have to figure out the depth that the fish are going to be at in the winter time. Most of the time the fish are either going to be holding right off the bottom, less than a foot off the bottom like that, or they're going to be suspended up a lot higher around shad balls. So the way that you figure that out is the area that you want to fish. I don't care if it's a ditch or it's a point or whatever. Take some time to graph around there with your 2-dimensional sonar. If you notice bait balls, like big shad schools, there's a good indication those fish are going to be suspended. And then you just want to cast a little swim bait out there at the depth the shad are and reel it, right through that depth zone. But if you don't see any fish or any bait fish on the points, don't just give up on the points, because those fish could be tucked down there on the bottom, like laying next to rocks. So let the bait go to the bottom and just reel it just barely off the bottom, maybe less than a foot off the bottom. That's the way that I catch them. And most of the time I'm fishing anywhere between 15 to 45 foot deep in the wintertime with my little swim baits, depending upon how clear the water is. It's like if the water visibility is over like 6 foot in clarity, like a clear lake, those fish will get really deep, 40, 50, sometimes even 60 feet. And as your water clarity decreases, the depth that the fish are going to use are going to be a little bit shallower too. So anyway, guys, one other quick here, thing you can do here to make it hold the dye better is, and you can, and I talk about this a lot, you can actually rough these little things up first before you put the color on them. If you just rub them in your fingers like that and bring that salt to the surface, a lot of times that color will adhere to the bait a lot better, and it sort of gives it a wounded looking appearance. So just a few quick modifications, guys. Give them a try. I think it's going to add up to a few more bites for you, and we'll talk later.